Mic check 1 2, looks good. Noise floor check. All right, welcome to another video. As I've talked about many times, this channel is all about making good choices. And I've talked about the challenges in doing that. A good choice often turns out to be a bad choice in hindsight. And really the only way to make a good choice is to be able to forecast the future well enough so that your choices, are end up being good. Whether they're good or now not in the moment kind of doesn't matter in a sense. I mean, it matters that you don't obviously, ram your car into a building. Like that obviously is a bad choice that matters not to make. But more specifically, what I'm talking about is you can make a good choice, like, for example, getting this LPIC 1, which, yeah, it's a great choice. I'm studying for my career, picking up an extra cert. That's a good choice. But it turns out to be a bad choice. Instead, I could have done this, and that would have been a lot better. Instead I could have saved the time and saved the money and done nothing, and that might have been better as well, especially if my energies instead go to doing a better job at hunting for jobs right now. So it's hard to tell sometimes what is a good choice and what is a bad choice without the benefit of hindsight. So I just want to start the video with that because there's another thing that's staring me in the face that is an obvious good choice for multiple reasons. So the first reason is I've been personally in situations in my career where if I had at the very least this, but even this and even more than that, basically if I had completed all of this, understood it, had good conversations with the AI, able to produce it on the spot, things would have gone a lot better for me than they did. So this is a great choice. It's Lindy. It's Lindy effect. If it keeps coming up time and time again in my career at certain points that I need to have done this and I still haven't done it, that's a pretty serious problem. I haven't really had a lot of situations where I needed to have the LPIC and didn't have the LPIC, but I've had plenty of situations where I needed to really do better on interviews than I did. So this is a better choice, I would say, than doing the LPIC. And not only that, it's completely free. Now, the disadvantages are when it comes to actually getting the interviews in the first place, because it's just not, it's not a cert. It's not something you can use to market your set of skills, really. It's just kind of a base assumption of the skills you have. It's like you get the interview through whatever marketing you do based on yourself and your set of skills, and then the interview is basically just to confirm that you have these skills that you're expected to have. So this isn't really something you can necessarily do to get more interviews, but it is something that is really important for getting more jobs. So this is kind of a obvious no-brainer staring me in the face. That is a better choice. And I just wanted to acknowledge that, put it out there. If anyone's watching this and they're thinking of the LPIC, they don't have this done, maybe what you can do is make the other choice that I did, see if it works out better. And definitely if you failed any portion of the LPIC more than once, and you're on your third, fourth, fifth attempt, just let it go, especially if you don't have this done. And make better choices. Stop wasting so much time and money in something that's not a good return on investment. So I just want the LPIC because I feel like it really validates the skills I already have. That's kind of what I'm looking to do. So I feel like I already have some pretty solid skills in Linux and in programming, and I just want those to be validated, and then which I mean this might do again. So this might do as well. So again, it's all about making the best choices. Sometimes you can't make a good choice without the benefit of hindsight, but the most important thing is that you are aware of what choices there are to make, because if you weren't even aware of the best possible choice in the time, or didn't acknowledge it or didn't take it seriously, then even though you're making the best choices, you're choosing between poor options. So I just wanted to take a moment to acknowledge this, that this might be a better choice than what I'm doing now. And I am going to continue with the review, though, because I put so much effort into it and I'm so close to getting the first portion done of that. So that's it for this introduction. And we're going to continue. I'm going to open Anki now, and I'm going to continue building out my deck that I've been created. In the meantime, my internet kind of has these wonky problems sometimes where things fail to load for whatever reason. So I'm going to restart my router because that seems to help with that. It seems to happen like every morning. And then I'll be right back. So I'm going to take my 25 minutes of sedentary time. I'm going to use some of that time to get my internet rebooted. And then I'll be right back and we'll keep building out this deck. So we can see it's not just the browser. There's issues with my internet that I can fix by rebooting my router. So I will be back shortly. I will pause my treadmill. I'll start my sedentary time. And then I will fix my internet. Alright, I'm back. Internet should be fixed. That's what's nice about how I'm recording, is I don't need to concern myself with whether or not I have internet to actually record, just for making the content. So now I can refresh this, but this is this is not what I'm focusing now. It's another option, something I can focus on instead that might end up being a better choice. In fact, it's very likely probably a better choice, unfortunately. Oh man, it's just so hard. And then there's things like confirmation bias. There's things like a sunk cost fallacy is the biggest one. It's hard to walk away from things you're invested in, even if it turns out to be a really poor investment. And even if you basically have, you can walk away from it pretty much scot-free, but with a very small, like it's harder to walk away from an investment that you stand to lose $5 from than holding on to the investment for longer and then losing, $100 from. It's easier to do that second one because you're just counting so much on it becoming a valuable investment that you just refuse to see it for what it is, and you keep holding on to it, and then taking that big hit. It's like, oh, obviously this was bad, so you cash out, you take the big hit, and you feel better because you saw it through and you saw that truly there was no potential behind it, and truly it made sense to let it go. But the thing is, you could have done that before when all of the evidence and data you had was telling you the same thing. It was just telling it to you in a way that had a little bit of uncertainty to it, and that where you could afford to see that certainty through and lose some money on it. So really important to try to get over sunk costs somehow, and unfortunately I feel like I might be facing that here. But anyway, let's keep going. So the network error should be fixed. So I'll open Anki back up. Let me look at sunk costs. Let me see if there's like a sunk cost calculator. So here's a sunk cost calculator. I'm not sure what this means. So here's the formula to calculate sunk cost. So BC is the sunk cost. Okay. So BV is the book value, and SV is the salvage value. So hopefully it'll explain that. Um, uh, I don't know what a book value is. So let's go to ChatGPT. So help me calculate the sunk costs of earning the LPIC-1. Yeah. Yeah, so you know what? Let's do this. So okay. $0 spent. Only time was spent about, and we could, this is what's so cool about doing this online, is like we can look and see all these numbers. So I can see about how much time I actually put into this. So here's the playlist. We've got 80 videos now. Some are less than an hour, some are more than an hour. You know what? There's quite a few that are shorter. So let's just say I spent about 80 hours on it. 80 hours spent over. And then my first video was 4 months ago. So I spent about 80 hours over 4 months. Okay. $0 spent, only time was spent about 80 hours spent over 4 months for part 1 of the exam which is in 2 parts. The second part may take a similar amount, about to pass, about 80 hours of work over 4 months. In total, the exam may take, in total, the costs of training for the certification, although $0 for money spent will have a time cost of about 160 hours over 8 months. Also, there are costs in focus and concentration. It is legitimately difficult for me to study for this, and often I need to pay for chemical stimulants like Rosea and paroxetine in order to make real progress. Okay. So there we go. And sorry, this is really important because I need to, as I said, this is part 1. So part 2 might take another 4 months. So, that's a lot of time. Like a boot camp is literally, you can do a boot camp in 3 months, 6 months. Like I could pay for a boot camp which has connections to like real jobs. This is just me doing this. And it might cost more, but it will cost less in terms of effort and time spent. Okay, fees will be at least $600, possibly more for failures. Total fees so far spent for a failure owed for a part one retake, owed for passing part 2, additional fees of $200 amounts may be might be owed if there are additional failures and retakes. Okay, so now number 3. So training, $0 and time spent. Okay, so C number one. I included both materials and training in number 1. Okay, then 4, time. One exam can be taken at home, so there's no travel or meal costs except for stimulants if I can't focus. Okay, so that was number 5. What happened to number... So there's number 1, number 2, 3, number 4. Oh, number 5. So number 5 gets this. Okay. Retake fees. See number 2. Okay. So, okay. And then let's hit it with that. Boom.
80 hours spent on part 1. Assuming another 80 hours for part 2, the total is 160 hours. This is a sunk cost as you've already invested this time and can't get it back.
Well, I mean, that's not true.
If you want to calculate the monetary value of this time, consider what your hourly wage or potential hourly wage is. For instance, if you make, or could make, $20/hour, then 160 hours x $20/hour equals $3,200 in opportunity costs. Examination fees. $200 spent on a failed exam, sunk cost. $200 owed for...
Yeah, so basically what you gotta do is take the amount you're earning now, and then take the amount you expect to earn extra with the cert, and then see if it makes sense. And that's the thing is, like, I don't know if I can expect to make extra with this cert because I have a lot of really valuable experience with like network automation, and this is more like a network administration cert. So I don't know if network administrators make as much as like network developers, network engineers, which is like where my experience and training currently lies. So it could actually be that this certification makes it so that I would have to that my hourly rate would be less. So it's hard to know. But anyways, I'm getting distracted. I think it is important to constantly be thinking about this. And and really always be making. This channel is all about making good choices, which is not something you can assume you're going to do. It does require some time and effort to really think about whether you're making a good choice or not. Alright, so last video was Retake Strategy Part 2. Okay, and then I finished all of topic 102, I believe. Yeah, that was my hardest topic. So yeah, I finished all of 102, I believe. So now, I mean, it'll tell me, because it'll show duplicate cards. But yeah, so now we've got to add some cards here, and I'll try to make it all the way through 102, or I'll try to make it all the way through 103 in this video. So last video was 102.6. Yep, that's the very end. So now it's time for 103.1, which is work on the command line. And this is a big one. This is weight 4, the highest weighted one. But I did well on this section when I took it, so hopefully it won't be that big of a problem. Alright, so key knowledge areas. Use single shell commands and one-line command sequences to perform basic tasks on the command line. Use and modify the shell environment, including defining, referencing, and exporting environment variables. Use and edit command history. Invoke commands inside and outside the defined path. Alright, so here's the partial list of used files, terms, and utilities that I will turn into flashcards. And I have a feeling a lot of these I'll just be able to completely get through these in an easy way. Alright, so now we're going to work through both of the lessons and try to convert these into cards. Okay. Alright, so it's kind of I guess this is okay. I feel like I'm just gonna do 3 of those. It's just easier to type out. And let's run these against both of the lessons. so that doesn't even show up. So let's do Linux echo. Yeah. Okay, and then env. Oh, you know what? This is 103, so maybe that could be why. Okay, yeah, echo shows up. Right, but if you wrap it in quotes, it's so this one's all about echo. Yeah, notice how these are not wrapped in quotes there. It's very important to realize. You'll just have to take my word for it. Yep, and then notice how this one is wrapped in quotes. It's wrapped in single quotes, and therefore we get the exactly what's here. And notice how this one is wrapped in double quotes, and we get the actual variable. Just take my word for it that this one this is important to know. So let's make this into a card. Just have to trust me on this one. That this is a very good card to have. Alright, and then the next, let's go back and look at if there's more about bash in this session, that's better. Okay. All right. So it seems to be very important to know how to escape bash characters. Yeah, so let's do this as a card. Yeah. Right. And again, you'll just have to take my word for it. Okay, so these are much better cards. All right, now env. Okay, so not much to say about that one. All right. Alright, see if env shows up in here at all. Nope. Then export. Alright, so I guess let's try this one. We'll just put the whole guided exercise in there as a card. Alright, now it's time for PWD. Okay. Okay, so yeah, this looks good to me. And then set. Okay, so I'm happy with that. It explicitly spells out the difference between the two. Alright, next is unset. Okay, so put the whole exercise in there. Alright, next is type. The file system location. Okay. Um. So I guess we can put two things in there, or let's do this. Good. Okay. Yeah, looks good to me. Next is which. Looks good. Okay, so then the next one is man. Okay, yeah. It's part of the command, so it's going to be in lesson one. Okay. Okay. Alright, then history. Alright. Okay. Okay, so what is in the file? Take a look for yourself. You will see hundreds and hundreds of your most recent commands. You might, however, be surprised to find out that some of your most recent commands are missing. This is because while they are dynamically added to the history base, these additions are not written to the file. Okay, perfect. See how useful this is? It's like you come into the test and like none of this is ambiguous at all. Yeah. Okay, so let's take this whole section. I think there might be some kind of. Oh, this is the. No, that's just the reading. Yeah, so this looks good. You have to take my word for it on this one as well, that this is important. Okay. So, type touch in quoting marks. Single quoting, double quoting, quoting, double quoting, and so on. All right, so that's it for this one. That's 103.1, so we got a lot more to get through, and this is a big, beefy section. So I'm gonna take my 25 minutes of sedentary time. I need it, and then change my posture, and let's keep going. So stopping my treadmill, starting my sedentary time. All right, switching to a sedentary position. All right, and then building out the rest of the cards. So process text streams using filters. And this is a weight 2, so the last one was much more important. But they're all, you get it right or you get it wrong, regardless of how much weight it has. So the key knowledge areas are to send text files and output streams through text utility filters to modify the output using standard Unix commands found in the GNU text utils package. So here's a partial list of the use files, terms, and utilities. So we're going to make cards out of every single one of these. I don't remember what NL is, which is why I'm making these cards. That's good. Good thing I'm making these cards. Sure. I think I know what LN is. I know what. I think TR means truncate, but I don't know what NL means. Alright, so now it's time to build out the cards. Looks like we've got content across. Oh, only one lesson this time. That makes it a lot easier. Good. Okay, so this is for bzip compressed files, bzcat. Okay. All right, cat is like a freebie. That one's should know what that one does. Okay. Oh, this has like fields and stuff. Okay. Yeah, let's do this. Okay, and then head. Okay, so this probably makes it clearer that it's actually talking about less and not another pager like more. So I'll include both of those sentences in there. Okay. Okay, so we'll do this whole thing. Okay, then NL. Oh, number of lines. Okay, perfect. NL stands for number lines. Count just shows you a count of the lines, but NL prints out each line with a number assigned to it. All right, and then OD. Octal dump, yeah. Okay, let's try. Let's use this whole. I don't know what paste is. Oh, what is the? All right, let me just pull the explanation for the paste command from the man page because that's what it's telling you to do. It's kind of not a some of this stuff, you know, it's just not that relevant. Okay, so write lines consisting of the control from each file, divided by tabs to standard output. Merge lines of files. Okay. And SED. Yeah, this lesson was like all about SED. Okay. Okay, so let's do this whole thing. And the same applies to other kinds of hashing, but just want it to be clear which is which. Because like here, we'll even make it harder and calculate the value using the command. So I kind of, this way I have to tell that it's that just based on this here. That's my only clue I get. There we go. So the only clue I get in here that it's SHA 256 versus something else is I can see the actual hash. Yeah, and it's all the same basically. It's just how secure do you want it, and something for just verifying a file transfer. You know, it doesn't have to be that secure. But for your SSH keys, well, I think that's kind of different. But for things like BGP neighborships, you know, OSPF adjacencies, you know, there are some situations where the more secure the better. So in those cases, you do need to know the difference between you need to know which one is more secure and which one is less secure, and you need to know like the trade-offs of using one versus the other, which is mostly just like control traffic, I guess, or like compute time or whatever. You can just use, especially in a real world environment, just use the most secure one. Alright, so next you want to sort these. Okay, so now we got to figure out the sort command. Okay, so we'll go with the actual man page for the sort command as well. Um, it's kind of hard to find. Yeah, I mean it's pretty self-explanatory. I'd like to do like something. Um, I guess this looks okay. All right. So I like this explanation. We'll say the blank command is used to blank a file, arranging the records in a particular order. By default, the blank command blanks file consuming the ASCII by using in the blank command. It can also be used to blank numerically. Blank command switch the files. Blank is a standard command line program. First the files sorted order. The blank command supports blanking. So the blank command can also blank. I don't know. Is blanked or not? Blanking stone based on one or more blank keys extracted from each line of input. Default, the entire input is taken as the key. Okay, there we go. Next one is split. Okay, we'll put this whole exercise in there again. Alright, that looks good to me. Next is tail. Okay. Oh, so this is like a replace command. Translate. Yeah. It's kind of a weird word for replacing, but whatever. UNIQ. Oh, sedentary time has elapsed, so stop being sedentary. Alright. I need to make it a little bit slower than that. There we go. Hey, I burned 180 extra calories that I would not have otherwise. Although I would have burned calories even being sedentary, so. And it doesn't register as an activity on my Whoop, which is really annoying. So, really not getting enough. It's crazy how much, like, they say, like, oh, you only need 30 seconds of activity or 30 minutes of activity a day to be healthy. It's like, yeah, but what qualifies as activity? Like, all out sprinting as if you're if you're running from a lion, like, that is, like, that might qualify as an activity. Like, the human body is kind of amazing in the way that for what you put into it, like, you can get so much out of it. But that's what's so frustrating about obesity and weight control is, like, you can eat one slice of pizza and never be able to burn off the extra calories from that for a week. Okay. So I think this is good for word count. Alright, and then XZCat. Oh, is that? Oh, that's my protein timer. I can ignore that for a bit. I just can't completely ignore it. Yeah, I've got to get my health issues fixed. I'm obese, which is very, very. It's just something that can be fixed. It just requires a lot of. It's just not easy. But it is reversible. It's just. I mean, it's not entirely reversible because of loose skin, but. I just want my mobility back. I used to love doing some active things, and it's hard for me to do those now, so. That's really what I want, is my mobility back. I had a lot more mobility than I do have now. Alright, so this looks good. So I got one final card. That's ZCat. Okay, so use the same text there. And then make a blank for Zcat. All right, so that's it for the cards for 103.2. So the next one is 103.3. I'm going to try to get through this whole section. I might need a short break every once in a while. Once this goes off, I'm going to take my protein break. But here's another weighted 4. 103.3 is performing basic file management. And the key knowledge areas are to copy, move, and remove files and directories individually, to copy multiple files and directories recursively, to remove files and directories recursively, to use simple and advanced wildcard specifications in commands, using find to locate and act on files based on type, size, or time, usage of tar, CPIO, and DD. All right, so here's a partial list of used files, terms, and utilities. Quite a big list, but a lot of these are pretty simple. All right, but let's get to it. I'm gonna create the list, create the dummy cards. So I already created 3 of those before the timer even, or 2 of them, very nearly 3 before the timer even went off. So I'm gonna finish this list. Then I'm going to take a larger break to get my protein in and take some sedentary time, and then I'll be right back at it to build out these cards. Okay, so I've got all my dummy cards. So the next step is to go in and fill them out for real. So got to click on Browse, come down to all the dummy cards here. Here's the first one, which is copy. And those will be a part of the lessons. Looks like there's 2 lessons in this case. So, yep, I'm going to pause, take my sedentary time, take my protein hit, and then be back shortly. All right, I'm back. We're at the hour and 15 mark about. Can start my protein timer now, and then I'll take some. I like to shorten my sedentary time. There's no penalty for doing that. It's just if you lengthen it, that's where there's issues. So if I want more sedentary time, I'm entitled to take it after 5 minutes of non-sedentary time, even if it's something as small as just walking a bit on my treadmill. So let's go ahead and keep building out these cards. So if I go to here, there we go. So next command is cp. Okay. Now, there is a difference between copying and between linking, hard linking, but as far as I remember, without violating any NDA, I mean, remember it's a multiple choice, so it's not inode information is important to know about, but sometimes really careful nuance is hard to be there in multiple choice. Okay. Okay, so let's just take this whole thing. Why not? It might have some useful things in it. Alright, that looks good to me. So next one is find, and we can look at the other lesson as well for it. Alright, it doesn't show up in there. And I have to make sure that it's dot 3. Okay, so the find command it's saying right there will be explored in the next lesson. Okay. Okay, so let's do this whole thing. Okay, mkdir. Directoris. Okay, so yeah, let's do this whole thing. Doesn't hurt to have more text up there. It's just you want to make it easy to get right. Directoris. Alright, then MV is good. Alright, I'm entitled to some sedentary time if I want it. Yeah, and MV is how you rename. Yeah, so let's do that. Let's just skip this whole section. Why not? Basically, I just need to know what it's talking about. And some of these are just going to be so easy. They'll never get used. But alright, so here's a whole section for LS. Just keep this one short. I have a good grasp of this. Okay. Okay. Now, this is another thing to just take my word for without violating NDA or anything. And we can see that, you know, the training materials make, you know, devote a lot of time to options. So just take my word for it. It is important to know what some of these options are. All right, so next one is tar. Okay. Yeah, so that looks good to me. CPIO. Okay. Okay, then DD. Yeah, see how much of a flood of information this creates? It's like, it's just too much. Oh, that's interesting. So it copies it from one location to the other, which I don't know what the difference between DD and CP is. So I guess I'll take this whole thing. Because I could easily see myself thinking that this was CP instead of DD. Alright, next is file. Alright, I think it's in lesson 2. Man, is that... Now, I don't know if they're talking about an actual utility, if they're talking about just the concepts of files in general. Now, it is highlighted in gray, which usually means it applies to a command. Shoot. I feel like file. Okay, I'll just do this. But file is a command. If we go to my lab and do lab and then man file. Yeah. Okay. Okay. And then I'll just say like the command. Alright. Okay, and then next one is gzip. Okay, so let's go with this. And with oops. Okay. All right, then next is gun zip. Okay. All right, so let's take all this. Okay, so we'll take this whole thing. Yeah, let's take this whole thing. All right, that's B zip. So now bun zip. Yep. All right, and then the last card is file globbing. All right, so that's 102.3. So now, yeah, quite a bit more to get through. We've got dot 4 all the way up to dot 7. So we're kind of almost there. I think I'm gonna take my sedentary time. I kind of need it. Also, this video, we're at hour and 30. Well, you know what? We've only got 2 of them here, so let's just close out this one because there's only 2. So this is another big weighted one. It's to use streams, pipes, and redirects, which this is one where I learned a lot. I learned the difference between standard in, standard out, and standard error, and I really did not understand that at all before. So the key knowledge areas are redirecting standard input, standard output, and standard error. Pipe the output of one command to the input of another command. Use the output of one command as arguments to another command. Send output to both standard out and a file. So you do that with the T command. All right, so here's a partial list of the used files, terms, and utilities. There's only 2. There's T and there's xargs. So this is 103.4. We've got it in 2 lessons. Let's create the dummy cards. All right, and then let's go create the real cards. Okay, here we go. So this looks good to me. For a weight 4, there's really not that many. I mean, a lot of this is conceptual in this case. It's kind of hard to understand the difference between all these conceptually, so understanding that is really important. Okay. Wait, I'm confused here. XRs. Oh, I see. So, wait, I'm confused here. Format. All right, let me take this whole thing. All right, that looks good. Okay, that looks good. Yeah, that's it. There's only 2 for this one. So let's move on to dot 5. Okay, lots for this one, so I will need a break for this one. This is also weight 4. So I'm going to take my break here. So I'll put 25 minutes of sedentary time on the clock. I'll pause my treadmill. I'll start the clock and be back in just a moment. All right, I'm back after a break, so let's keep going on this. So this will be, we just finished dot 4, that was up there, so this is going to be dot 5. And it's going to be to create, monitor, and kill processes. Another wait for. But I didn't do too badly on this section. So the section I really did badly on was 102. Okay, but the key knowledge areas are run jobs in the foreground and background, signal a program to continue running after logout, monitor active processes, select and sort processes for display, send signals to processes. Alright, so we've got quite a long list here, so no time to waste. Watch and then screen. And then finally TMUX, TMUX. Alright. Time to browse. Alright, so ampersand first, and this is dot 5, so we have it spread across 2 lessons. Okay. Alright, so let's do it this way. Number of different ways I could go with this. Alright. BG's the next one. Background. Okay. Okay. Okay, so this looks good to me. That's my sedentary timer. If I want some sedentary time, I can take it. I think I'm good. I don't really need any. So all right. FG is the next one. So we'll do the same thing here. Alright, and then jobs next. Alright, good with that. I think knowing the signal with kill and kill. Okay. That's good. PS. Uh-oh, this might be, I don't remember. Oh, this gets so tricky. Oh, shoot. Yeah, as I said before, knowing some of these options is pretty important. Just have to take my word for it. So let's go ahead and include some options in this because, as I said, without violating any NDA or speaking to my particular experience, taking this recently. And as we can see here, just in the training materials, it is worth your while to get to memorize a few options. All right, next one. Top. Okay. Sure this is right. Okay. Huh, I don't see the command free called out anywhere specifically. Oh, here we go. Now this is important because it's memory usage, so you need to know that. Okay, there we go. Okay, there we go. So next one is uptime. Okay. P grep. PCal. By name. Kill all. Okay, watch. Okay. Screen is probably in the next one. Okay. So I want to pinpoint on the difference between the two. There's a clear difference. There's 78. Yeah, I mean Tmux has all of these as well. I want to really pinpoint the difference between the two. well, let's just do this. Well, not exactly the same. Blank. Yeah. All right, and then for tmux, let's make sure to really narrow it down. Because tmux has some extra features. Oh, yeah, it's right here where it says there's an extra feature of tmux. So let's try to get this whole in there. The following screen tmux. Yeah, okay. All right. I think that's probably okay. Not perfect, but it doesn't have to be. All right, so let's move on to 2.6. So 103.6 is modify process execution priorities. This is a wait 2. Key knowledge areas are know the default priority of a job that is created. I do not know that. Run a program with higher or lower priority than default. Change the priority of a running process. Very nice. I'm just going to highlight that just because, no reason. All right, and then let's add the dummy cards. So nice. There we go. PS. There we go. Very nice. There we go. And then top. There we go. Okay, and then what we're gonna do is go to browse. And then go here. Okay, and then we're gonna go to. So this is 3.6. So haha, another one that's just lesson 1. Thank goodness. All right, dash nice. Perfect. So, okay, that's just probably a good way. Oh, you know what? We need to know what that default is, so let's go with this. Let's have the Okay, so we're gonna do this. Default 1, 2, 3. Value of 0. Nicer. This numbers from -20. 18. Let's find different values. Same process. That's the nice value. Okay. That's good. Next is PS. Okay. Okay. I think this might be a good one. So, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, got it. Alright, and then very nice. good. Okay, the next one is top. Okay. Yep, this looks good. Program 3. Yes. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, 1, 2, 3. There we go. Alright, so that's it for that. Which leaves us with dot 7 and then dot 8 afterwards. So dot 7, which is await 3. Search text files using regular expressions. Key knowledge areas. Create simple irregular expressions containing several notational elements. Understand the differences between basic and extended regular expressions. Understand the concepts of special characters, character classes, quantifiers, and anchors. Use regular expression tools to perform searches through a file system or file content. Use regular expressions to delete, change, and substitute text. Alright, so here's a partial list of the used files, terms, and utilities. So let's create the temporary. So grep. There we go. egrep. There we go. fgrep. There we go. cd. There we go. And then regex with a 7. I don't know what the 7's all about. Okay, there we go. Alright. I'm pretty sure I read everything. I don't remember reading it, but that's okay. So this is dot 7. Dot 7 has 2 lessons. Okay, so the first one is grep. Okay, let's go with this. Okay, then egrep. Okay. Okay, and then fgrep. Okay. Wait, it does not? Oh, I see. So grep is like, okay, got it. So it just does an actual literal match. Okay, I actually didn't know that. Okay. Yeah, set is like a pretty big topic, but I think this will be enough. I wish I could have the sed. Sed is bad. I don't like sed. I just feel like there's so many better ways to do it. Like back in the day, I'm sure sed was very useful. Or like maybe scripting would be nice for sed, but I don't know where this 7 comes in to play regex. I mean, I think this is just like what is a regex basically, and it's not highlighted in oh, it is highlighted in special text. Huh. Okay. I don't know what regex with I don't know what the significance is of that 7. Okay. I don't know what the significance is of it having that 7. Okay, so we'll just have it be postx.2 regular expressions, and then I know that the 7's associated with that. All right, so I think that's the significance. There are different kinds of regular expressions, you know, and we even saw there's extended regular expressions. So the 7 is the postx.2 version. I think I'm just kind of pulling that out of my but yeah. All right, so the next one is basic file editing. Let's close this and add some dummy cards. It's a weight 3, so it's pretty high, not the highest though. Key knowledge areas. Navigate a document using vi. Understand and use vi modes. Insert, edit, copy, and find text in vi. Awareness of Emacs, Nano, and Vim. Configure the standard editor. All right, so here's the partial list of files, terms, and utilities. So let's enter that in. All right, and then let's make these into real cards, and then that'll be it. Thank goodness. Oh my lord. Okay, so and then another saving grace. We've got 103, only just one of them. So, yep, looks good right there. Next one. Okay. cursor in vi normal mode. Okay. So in normal mode, then O, which is add, and then A. Okay, and then dpy, ddyy. So I don't see a D. Oh, there's no DD. Oh, here's the YY. Interesting, there's only one. I mean, let's just go with here, and we're going to do vi d, type in Linux. Here we go. Interesting. There's nothing for DD. Oh, here we go. So D, lowercase d, lowercase d, lowercase d. Interesting. So we've got an uppercase D. Is there a P? So P is the copy. Initiate. Yeah, that's a capital D. Okay. So let's press D vi. Okay, and then P we're gonna do like that. We're gonna do now Y, which would be man, this is tricky. copy inks. Character. Okay. And then DD is deletes the whole line. Right? Delete the entire current line. And then yep, and then copies inks the entire current line. Okay. Okay, that looks good. So now it's ZZ. So save file in normal mode. Next one is WQ or W like that. Okay. Alright. And then the next one is QW. Okay. Alright, last one is editor. I don't know. Oh, here we go. So bash itself will run default text editor as necessary. Or 2, 3. For example, export 3. Okay, perfect. All right, so yep, that's it. 3/4 of the way done. Next video, just need to come back and finish out all the cards for this, and then we need to make a study plan depending on the amount of cards there are to get through. So far, there are 147, so we need to make a plan to go through an amount of cards per day. So if we go through 20 per day, it'll take us about 8 days to get through. It'll take us 8 full days to get through. So that's a good clip. We're gonna have a few more cards. If we take, there's 4 sections. So if we take 1 divided by 3, we've got about 50 cards per session. So 147 plus 50. So we should have about 200 cards when we're all said and done. Probably fewer than that. So if we divide that by, if we take 200 and divide it by 7, so we'd have to do 28 cards to get through it in a week. I think that's probably doable. If we do 30 cards a day, you can get through it in a week. So it's kind of ambitious, but you know, some go by pretty fast. But so we could also do it in 2 weeks, and then we don't have to do about 15 cards a day. So that's not a big difference. Yeah, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned in the next one.